Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So we supposed to start. We just got one, two masail left before we have to start with a new chapter of Tathirul Anjas, the different types of najasat. What we just need to discuss today is the masla of twins. So remember we done this, that just briefly again, we just cover that like how a woman have haze when she experiences her menses and it fits the profile of menses, she can't read salah, she can't fast, etc. Like that also the bleeding she experiences after childbirth, that also it weighs off salat, etc. And we know we discussed this, we said that your your nifas or lochia or postnatal bleeding, whatever, it starts with the birth when more than 50% of the babies out. Now we'll say salat become maaf, right? And there's no minimum for it. Like even if a person believes for 5 minutes, then after 5 minutes she's clean, then she have to read a salah. And then if she stops before the salah time comes out, she stop bleeding like 15 minutes. That's enough time to make ghusl, and it is enough time to also um, to do the takbir tahrimat, and it becomes wajib. Right? So, uh, so now the Quran says also that for a woman who is pregnant, that when she gives birth, that is the end of her iddat as well, and it is beginning of her nifas. So now the question came about if there's multiple pregnancies or multiple babies. So when do we say the nifas start, and when do we say that? Okay, before we come to that, I just want to repeat this also, just recapping. So, if a woman stops bleeding within 40 days, then that is a nifas, right? If she goes over 40 days, then the moment 40 days are up, then we'll say you have to wash up and read a salah. But if she goes over 40 days, and similar to the must of haze, if she goes over 40 days, then she will have to revert to a habit of um, what she had in the previous year, right? That was brief. So now we're going to just cover the masla of just reading, inshallah, of the masla of twins, inshallah, and we discuss that, inshallah, then we're going to move on. Page, né? Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. فَإِنْ وَلَدَتْ وَلَدَيْنِ. So if a woman gave birth to two children, right? Or even three children, four children, في بطن واحد, from one stomach. So what do you mean by one stomach here? Obviously, women don't have two stomachs. They mean like in one pregnancy, there was two births, right? فنفاسها من الولد الأول عند أبي حنيفة وأبي يوسف. So according to Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Yusuf, we Shaykhain, we say the nifas starts when 50% or more than 50% of the first child comes out of the stomach. So when 51% of the first child comes out of the stomach, now salat is maaf already for her, right? Are you with me? That's what it means. فنفاسها من الولد الأول عند أبي حنيفة وأبي يوسف, right? وإن كان بين الولدين 40 يوما, even though between the two children is a window period of 40 days. Sometimes it happens as such, maybe the one baby comes out, and then maybe this is more in previous times. Nowadays, they give medicine, they give injections to induce the labor, whatever. But in previous times, they had to wait for the baby to come out. So the nifas will start immediately when when 51% of the baby is out, and she will now salat will be maaf, and she'll be in nifas, even though we're waiting for the second baby, right? وقال محمد من الولد الأخير. Imam Muhammad rahimahullah ta'ala says that nifas only starts with the last child. So while she's giving birth, and while she's waiting for the second child, or if it's three children, or it's four children, while she's waiting for the last child, so when 51% of the last child comes out, now she is nifas, now salat becomes maaf. Are you with me? Right? Carry on. Right. So, وَهُوَ قَوْلُ زُفَرَةَ. And this is also the opinion of Imam Zufar rahimahullah ta'ala, that was the last child. now when more than half the last child comes out or the last baby, then why is they saying لأنها حامل بعد الأول? They say, look here, look, what is our principle? Our principle is that a pregnant woman does not have nifas, right? Isn't it? So even though one child came out, there's still a child in the stomach, in the womb. So that means she's still pregnant. And how is it that a pregnant woman can have nifas? Like how we said, like how the Hanafi said, how can a pregnant woman have haze? It's not possible for a pregnant woman to have haze. So how is it possible here that a pregnant woman can have nifas? She's still pregnant, so she can't be nifas. Nifas is when you are not pregnant anymore, when a woman has given birth to a children. That's what he's saying. لأنها حامل, she is pregnant بعد وضع الحمل, after وضع means dropping, discounting, but then after having given birth to the first one. فلا تصير نفساء, so she will not become a woman that is in menses. كما أنها لا تحيض, like how she cannot experience hayd. Carry on. Yeah. So see, yeah, it's the you see, according to Imam Abu Hanifa also, that the iddah does not terminate with the first child. The iddah does not terminate with the first child. The iddah terminates with the last child. So what Imam Zufar, Imam Yusuf, is Muhammad Silukia, you saying also that only with the last child the iddah terminates. Only with the last child the iddah terminates. So that shows you that she only becomes Nufasa with the last child. So how can you say that it terminates with the last child, but Nifas comes with the first child? Are you with me? Right. So carry on. So now here we're going to give our proof to say that Nifas starts with the first child. That is Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Yusuf. That is Shaykhain, right? Right. So now we're going back to that abstract concept which I told you. Remember, we discussed in the beginning of the chapter of Nifas. We say, look here, according to us, when a woman is pregnant, when she is hamila, her womb closes off. So any blood that comes is not from the womb, and the only blood that comes from the womb and the will be either nifas or haiz. So when she gave birth, her womb is now open again. And since her womb is now open again, it has the potential to be nifas, right? Today, ولهما أن الحامل إنها لا تحيض لانسداد فم الرحم, because of the closing of the mouth of the womb. على ما ذكرنا, according to what you mentioned, وقد انفتح بخروج الأول, and now it has been opened with the first one, right? وتنفس بالدم, and the womb is now expelling blood. The womb is expelling blood, right? Um, فكان نفاسا, so she will be a nufasa'a. Now we're going to answer in the next ibadah, we're going to answer that why, or that remember they use this against us to say, look here, it that only finishes with the last child. That means nifas is also supposed to start with the last child. Say, well, iddatu تتعلق بوضع حمل مضاف إليها فيتناول الجميع. Simple. You see, look here, what the Quran says, حتى تضع حملها, that the iddat of a pregnant woman that has been divorced is with the birthing of her child. So when will we say she gave birth to a child? If she got maybe a multiple pregnancy, not she got multiple babies, one or two, when will you say she gave birth in the true sense of the word? When she's given birth to the last child. If a woman got twins, for example, and she gave birth to one child, will you say no? She's given birth already. She's finished. No, you won't say that. When the last child, whether it is two babies, three babies, when the last one come out, now you will say she's completed. She's given birth. So the Quran is emphatic. It is khas. You done khas in your usul shashi that the birth process is finished, it terminates with giving birth to her child. And you only say she gave birth when she gave birth to the last child. So the Quran is quite emphatic that it terminates with the birthing process, and the birthing process is only complete when she gives birth to the last child. So we cannot use our own logic and say no, that if that since you know that the Eid that finishes with the last child. So that means the fast is supposed to, yeah, it will be contradictory to the clearness of the Quran. Right. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chapter of Hayd, Nifas, Mustahada. It was quite a long chapter. Allah Ta'ala accepted from us. As I told you, if you understood these masail and these principles, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will be able to unravel at least 70 or 80% of the highest masail that come your way. With this, if you understood these principles correctly, guaranteed, inshallah, if you followed our lessons, you will be able to answer 80% of the questions that come to you. If you want to get it extra 20%, you'll have to join us for Baghawi's manual. I told you the Mufti Sajid is ready anytime, but we are not ready for him. But he's ready to teach Baghawi's manual anytime. He told me, anytime you're ready, get a few appas, get a few papas ready. I will teach it for you. He's taught it to many people already. So more of Hais then, inshallah, when we are ready, inshallah, maybe in a year's time or 2 years' time, inshallah, Allah accept. Right. So the next chapter, Babul Anjasi wa Tatiriha, the chapter with regards to impurities and the cleansing of it. So here, when we speak about impurities, we speak about impure, that which is considered to be impure in Shariat, not what we consider to be impure. You know, maybe like you may be irked by the mucus in somebody's nose. As much as you are irked by it, as much as you get, you feel it's naring, whatever, but that is not considered to be impure in Sharia. So when we speak about impurities, we speak about that which in Sharia is considered to be impure. Now, if you're following nicely so far, thus far we have been discussing najasat hukumiyah, the abstract najasat, not the physical najasat. That was hadath akbar, which is the need to make a faraz ghusl, hadath azhar, the need to make a wudu, etc. Now, if you look at it, it's quite interesting that the difference between najasat hukumiyah and najasat haqiqiyah, physical najasat like urine, stool, sperm, blood, etc., etc., right? Yeah, okay, yes, but what is impurity according to Sharia? Inshallah, that will come. Inshallah, that will come in the sabak. Inshallah, it will definitely come in the sabak. In Sharia, what is considered to be najasa, that will come. But for the moment, just understand this much here, inshallah, that najasat is that which the Sharia considered to be najasat, not that which you tab'an have a dislike for. Like you tab'an, you don't like mucus, you don't like saliva, or maybe you don't like perspiration, whatever. So it's not what your tabiat considers to be dirty, or what your tabiat considers to be. It's not that. It's what Sharia has defined in the najasat, and that will all come in the sabak, right? So the interesting thing here, you mentioned, why did the author Sahib Hidayah bring najasat hukumiyah first, and he brought najasat haqiqiyah second? Interesting. You see, if you look at, although najasat hukumiyah, like the need to make a ghusl, the need to make wudu, it's an abstract thing, but it is actually more severe. And in which sense is it more severe? Look here, in this sense, it's more severe. But look here, in najasate ghaliza, we know it is 3 centimeters or less is tolerable, right? So if you have less than 3 centimeters of blood on you or stool urine, then it is sunnah to wash it, but not faraz. But can you say that this amount of najasat hukumiyah is tolerable? That you just had a small inzal, you just had a small what you call ejaculation, so you need to make a half a ghusl, or maybe only one drop of urine came out, so it's not necessary to make wudu, or maybe little bit urine came out, so you can make a half a wudu, it's fine. No, so you see, a little bit of, so say, right. So what I say there is, see, najasate hukumiyah, it is more severe. Whether a little came out or a lot come out, it still either makes wudu necessary, or it still either makes ghusl necessary. Unlike the najasat haqiqiyah, if a little came, you can read your salah, or if it's najasat khafifa, the lesser type of najasat, right? Yeah, 3 centimeters, that is tolerable. But inshallah, that will come. Don't worry about that. If you never understood that, najasat ghaliza, um, the heavy type of najasat, that if it's 3 centimeters or less, and it's sunnah to remove it. It is not for us to remove it. So that shows you this. It's a weaker form of impurity. So what the point you're trying to make here is that najasate hukmiya is lesser. It is weaker than najasate hakikiya. Are you with me? Right. So najasa hukmiya. This I told you. You can't say a little bit urine came out, so I don't have to make wudu. I have to make half a wudu. Whether urine came out or not, still you have to make a full wudu. That shows you it is more potent. Are you with me? Okay, read at least. Almost time is almost up. Just read one, two ibarat, inshallah, for the barakat, inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم باب الأنجاس وتطهيرها تطهير النجاسة واجب. Oh, sorry, I can't see. It's too small. Oh,
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. تطهير النجاسة واجب من بدن المصلي وثوبه والمكان الذي يصلي عليه. So the first thing they're telling you here is that تطهير النجاسة, to remove najasa, to cleanse najasa, wajibun, it is necessary, it is compulsory, min badal musalli, from the body of the person is praying, wa thawbihi, and from his clothes, wal makani alladhi yusalli alayh, and the place that he's going to be praying in. So, if you remember correctly, we said those conditions that precede the actual act, right there, or those things are necessary that precede the actual act, they are termed as what? They are termed as shurut. And the things are necessary, which is the actual ibadat that is known as rukn. So, yeah, this is before your actual prayer. This is before your actual prayer. So that means it is from the shurut of salat. So they're saying from amongst the shurut of your salat is tathhirun najasati. To see tathhirun najasa, cleansing of najasa. Wajibun, it is necessary. Yeah, wajibun is not in the technical sense that it is lesser than the farz. No, it just means it's necessary. You intend the lughwi meaning, not that right. Min badanil musalli, from the body of the person, wa thawbihi, and his clothes, wal makani alladhi yusalli alayhi, and the place he will pray. What's our proof? As we know that Sahib Hidaayah normally, what he does is he brings a dalil and naqli. Everywhere you follow nicely, whenever he brings an ibarat, he brings a textual evidence. When we say textual evidence, it's either from the Quran or it's from the Sunnah, or at a minimum, it is a qawl of a Sahabi, of a Tabi'i. So what is our proof to say that your body needs to be clean before you pray? This is proven from the Quran. Allah Ta'ala, بقوله تعالى, Allah Ta'ala says, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ, and your clothes, cleanse it. Surah Muddathir, right? And then there's another hadith where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he teaches us that when your clothes, your body, etc., is soiled with any type of dirt or najasat. When you say dirt here, remember I told you we speak about what in Sharia is considered to be najasat. Nabi Sallallahu advised us to remove it, not just to leave it like that, right? See, this was an instruction by Nabi Sallam to Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala. وقال عليه السلام حتيه حتى يحط. Huttu means come from Nasara Yansuru, حتى يحط, right? Which means rub it, ragarna, right? And here, to be Nabi Sallam was making a reference to sperm that would come onto the clothes. So he said, Hutti. So, right, rub it. ثم قرصيه, قرص يقرصه, then scratch it. ثم اغسليه, then wash it بالماء ولا يضرك أثره. After you wash it, after you rub it, after you scratch it off, and after you wash it, if any effect still remain, it will not harm you. So how do we make istidlal? How do we learn from this? See, this is what we learn, that if najasat was tolerable, there wasn't a problem with it. It was fine for you to pray with najis clothes. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam wouldn't instruct Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha to cleanse it in this particular manner. Understood that? So the fact that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed her, and yeah, you done your usul al-fiqh, mashallah, amr al-amru lil wujubi. When a command comes, it points towards compulsion. So the fact that Nabi instructed it, look, when najasat, when the sperm come on the clothes, you have to rub it, you have to scratch it, and you have to wash it. That shows you that it is necessary. That so there you got first the proof from the Quran, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِرْ, that you must keep your clothes clean if you want to pray, right? And then we got the proof from the hadith that you are instructed that remove, efface, make izala of the sperm of the najasat. So وإذا وجب التطهير في ثوب وجب في البدن والمكان. So it stands to reason that if cleansing your clothes, right, is necessary before prayer, then only logically it follows that your body must also be clean and the place where you are praying must also be clean. So what's the use? You got clean clothes, but your body soiled with najasat. Or you imagine you got all your body is clean, you've cleansed your body, you've cleansed your clothes, but you're making sajda in najasat, right? So this is, you can say, is a akli dalil. What is this? Akli means a logical proof. So, وَإِذَا وَجَبَ التَّطْهِيرُ فِي الثَّوْبِ, when we've understood from the Quran and we have understood from the Hadith that cleansing the clothes is necessary, وَجَبَ فِي الْبَدْنِ, وَجَبَ فِي الْبَدْنِ, then it is necessary, it is wajib also that it clean in your body, wal makani, and in your place where you're going to pray. Why? لأن استعمال في حالة الصلاة يشمل كل. Because look here, when you pray, you don't only pray in your clothes. When you pray, your body is also going to be praying. And the musalla that you are praying on also is also going to be part of your the instrument that you're going to be praying with. So logically, it means all of this must be what? Must be cleansed, right? Okay, time is up there, so we have to break now for our tafsir lesson. Inshallah, I see some of the people online of the men folk, they want to read. Inshallah, we're open to that idea. If any of the men folk want to read, inshallah, next week, they can just indicate to us and who's going to read, and they can read also. We're open to allow them to read, obviously. So one of the brothers did read today. So he wants to read next week, inshallah. So this next lesson will be on Monday, inshallah. The lesson will be South African time at about 12:15. So if anybody of the men want to read, inshallah, they're welcome to read. But inshallah, we have to break there now. We're going to do our tafsir, inshallah. بس سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك الله وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله